So let's learn how we could use AI to teach us new programming concepts in pretty much anything. I'm going to teach two methods. Method one is through project-based learning with the AI where you're actually coding. And method two is like multiple choice, rapid fire questions. These are two ways I like to do it. Let's dive into method one. So what I want to imagine is, let's say we don't know a programming concept. Let's imagine it's arrays. Maybe you don't actually know arrays, and this will be perfect. Maybe you do, but still follow along so you can apply this type of concepts. The prompt that I've given it is, you are my world-class coding teacher. I don't understand how arrays work. Can you explain them to me simply? So what we're constructing here is something called a context prompt. We're giving the AI context on what its role is, what I need help with, and how to answer the question. Because I could say, okay, explain it in long essays that is 3,000 pages long. I don't have all day. I wanted to explain it simply. You can even say, give it to me in bullet points. The other hack that I then want to teach is, give it context that you care about. AI can adapt any situation from Call of Duty to Formula One to soccer and apply it to your particular context to make it interesting. When it's something you care about, you're far more likely to remember and learn it. So for me, I really like soccer. So I'm going to say, explain it to me within the theme of soccer. So my final prompt, you are my world-class coding teacher. I don't understand how arrays works. Can you explain them simply? Give it to me in bullet points and explain it to me in the theme of soccer. Let's see what we get. Okay, so it's giving me quite a cool explanation. First thing it says, so think of an array like a soccer team. Each player in the team has a unique position. Similarly, each element in an array has a unique position. One thing I'm noticing immediately, though, before you even keep going, there's no code. I don't want to just read text. It's like, show me a code example. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. So finally, it's given me a code example, and I can say, okay, this is what an array looks like. Define an array or team of soccer players. And so I can see this whole thing. And now I can go ahead and read this explanation and try and understand it a little bit differently. Okay, cool. Another question that is really useful to ask is, you can explain the theory behind something or the syntax behind it. So what it's explained over here is the theory, which is like, how does it work on a conceptual level? What I want to see is the syntax, because I want to be able to implement it. So another question you can ask is something like, explain the syntax of arrays. Syntax is a fancy way of describing the way in which something is coded, the exact characters and elements and things you press on the keyboard to get it working. Yes. This is fantastic. So here it's giving me examples. So it's showing me, okay, how do I declare an array? What's the syntax for creating one? What's the syntax for accessing the first element, etc. Again, you're going to get different answers, but using these prompts can help you break down things in a little bit more detail. The most important thing that I want to get onto, though, is that theory means nothing. I can read this, it doesn't mean I understand it. The only time I really understand it is if I practice, if I apply my knowledge. So the thing I'm going to be asking the AI is, hey, can you test me? So the prompt I'm giving is, can you test me on arrays? Can you come up with a few exercises to make sure I understand how they work? So it's given me a few exercises on creating a list or an array of favorite fruits, how to access the elements of my favorite fruit array, and how I can change elements in my fruit array. But when I'm speaking to a teacher or I'm speaking to another human that's giving me this, usually people aren't giving you steps 1 through 5. Or if they do, it's like, it's not as engaging. You want the AI to be your partner in doing this. So what I'm going to ask it is, hey, let's do it step by step. Let's do one exercise at a time, and let's break it down into bite-sized chunks. So the exact prompt I'm giving it is, let's do one exercise at a time, and let's break it down into bite-sized chunks. Don't give me the answers, but guide me. Have a natural conversation with me as if you were my friend explaining arrays to me. This is going to give you a natural conversation. It's going to make sure the AI doesn't do all the work, and you're going to move through it nicely. Let's see what we get. Okay. So it's giving me an exercise, creating arrays. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get rid of all of the code here, and we're going to do a few of them together. So I'd like you to create an array and name it favorite fruit. Fill it with the names of your top 5 favorite fruits. So let's say I'm going to say fruits, and my names of my top 5 favorite fruits are. So here is what my array looks like. I've got apples, lychees. So I'm from South Africa and we say lychees, whereas everyone else says lychees, and you're just wrong. It's lychees. Thank you. Pear, watermelon, orange. Okay, I have no idea if this is right or not. So I need to ask, hey, show me the answer. Or better yet, can be like, this is my answer. Is it correct? Let's see if that works. Oh. Okay, so this AI does have context on what's happening here. So, and it perfectly identified that I just called it fruits instead of favorite fruit. And then you can say, okay, cool, let's move on to the next exercise and go through it step by step like this. Always make sure that you are actively applying yourself when you're solving this or when you're trying to learn a new concept. You're going to learn it so much better. The next way you can use AI is a style I like to call rapid fire. What I'm going to do is the following. So the prompt I'm giving is ask me rapid fire multiple choice questions on arrays to test my understanding. Ask me questions one at a time because we want to have a natural conversation with it. It's more engaging that way. And adapt your questions based on what I get right or wrong. So this way the AI is going to identify for you, hey, you're missing this concept. I'm going to keep asking you questions and explaining it until you get it. Let's go. Okay. So question one, in Python, if we have an array of 5 elements, what will be the index number of the last element? So A5, B4, C6, D, none of these. I want you guys to pause, give this a go. Put in the comments what you think the answer is. If it has 5 elements, the answer is 4. So let's for this one, let's just be nice. And we're going to say it's B. And hopefully, hopefully our AI is correct as well. Cool. And it explains it nicely. You can say, okay, explain more at each step. Okay, so it's a question. So if we have an array of colors, how would we access the green element? Okay, so the green element is at position, this is position 0, this is position 1, this is at position 2. So it would be colors at 2. Let's get it wrong and see what happens. So I'm going to say D for colors at green. Let's see what we get from it. Actually, that's not. Okay, so it explains that we actually start from 0 and we increment upwards. I still want to get it wrong. I'm going to say C. Awesome. Okay, so it's told me, okay, no, you're wrong. That's 2, but it's given me, let's try another one. Don't worry, you're doing great. I love how supportive our AI assistant is. So, and now it's given me another question in a different formatting on the same thing. So you can see how it's going to keep asking you questions and guide you on the parts that you're weakest. I'm going to end the video here. We've covered those 2 important things, or maybe 3 actually, like how to ask it to explain you concepts, how to ask AI to give you project-based things where you're coding, and then finally this multiple choice rapid fire way of testing your understanding. What I want you guys to do is share in our Discord channel, if you come in and join that, what topic did you try and learn? So let's say you wanted to learn classes or if statements or for loops. Share some of the prompts, share some of the exercises, share how you were able to get the AI to explain and test your understanding of that concept. Looking forward to seeing it. I will see you guys in the next one.